I mean, my daughter's just 15 now, so, you know, there's always that thing of, can I watch a 15 when they're 13? And it's always sort of, you know, and I get it, we were all like that when we were young, but... So the other night, when they get older, you're like, oh, I really want to watch this film with you, you know, sort of like iconic films from way back. And I saw Silence of the Lambs came up, and I've not seen it for ages.
Nice cosy night in.
Nice cosy night in. And
did you have a Chianti? Was it?
It's 15. It said 15, so I thought, oh, OK, right, you know. And for me, so a lot of the violence in it is quite, you know, ketchup-y, shall we say, and of course it's moved on.
To, isn't it?
But there was a really rude word in it, like the rudest of rude words in it. And I literally went...
knows the word.
I hit pause and just went, this is supposed to be a 15. This has been passed now as a 15. So I'm now thinking, what now constitutes an 18?
Yeah.
Because some of the things you see in 15s are what I would have never been allowed to watch until I was 18, at minimum.
Yeah. My mum and dad used to watch, when I think about it now, all the... back then, because I grew up overseas, it was R-rated films, which I suppose is the equivalent of 15 now. They watched everything first before letting us watch...
I
watch
think R is like a 12A, whereas it's rated...
But who's got time now to watch everything? I mean, everything's so... accessible, isn't it, to kids?
Well,
exactly.
My daughter Maddie, and I don't know if anyone in the audience remembers hearing these words, 13 Reasons Why, which Summer Before Last was the big series that was going on with all the teenagers.
What is the rating for that, then?
Well, I don't think there is a rating because it's on Netflix.
What?
But within that, the themes were all themes, very dangerous themes, you know, rape and violence and suicide and all this stuff. And it's like Maddie said. She said, Mum, everybody's watching it. They said they're all watching it in their rooms. They're getting groups together. And so I felt I had to watch it. It was horrific. I hated it. But why I watched it was I knew she was watching it. I knew she was going to watch it with a friend. So I wanted to have those discussions with her about the themes. Because I think, unfortunately...
So you didn't watch it with her?
Well, she'd already watched it.
Right.
She'd watched it, and I didn't. But the parental control that we used, that our parents had, we no longer have because they can watch everything in their room and on their phones and.
No, wait. My kids can't watch anything in their rooms that I don't say they can watch in their rooms.
Yeah, but she's 16. She goes away for sleep.
I'll take the telly away. Well, yeah, but then I'd speak to the parents. Can't you speak to the parents?
Well, the parents don't.
I'm really struggling
You've still
with
got
this.
really young. You've still got really young children. Honestly, it takes another turn. It really
I think when they get older,
16,
yes.
Yeah. But my eldest will be 11 next month. He'll be going into secondary school this year. And I've already had arguments with parents about the games that he can play because I don't accept that, oh, they're going to go there and they're going to watch it. No, you're a parent too. They're 12, 13 years old. Why are they watching or playing things that have an 18 certificate?
I had that when Grace was 11. She came home and she'd watched a 15 film. Because she was round at somebody's house. And I just thought, no, as a parent, you can't... They're 11, and, you know, that might be OK for your child, but when I allow my child to come to your house, you are taking parental responsibility.
Would you give them alcohol?
Well, yeah,
Would you give them
but it's literally, you should have asked me before you let
But then
her watch
also,
that film.
I can remember being 13 and going round to a friend's house. This is way back in the dark ages. And we'd only just come out of black and white. It was a really long time ago. And lovely, responsible parents, lovely kids and all that, but she had older brothers. And I was 13, and they put on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, that was horrific. And I can remember sitting, and my friend went, yeah, let's just sit down. And she was kind of showing off because the older boys were all there. And I can remember sitting in the back of the room, trying really hard to look at a corner of the screen and not flinch while all these horrible, horrible things were happening. Had nightmares for months and months and couldn't tell my parents because obviously I wasn't supposed to watch it in the first place.
At 11, she watched her first horrific horror movie. She didn't tell me. She was just at a sleepover. And she said, Mum, it was like, you can't not watch the horror movie.
Yeah.
So, you know...
I mean, that's... but I always accept that kids...
at 11. No, come on.
Yeah, but I accept that kids... For me, the issue... We all did it. I remember watching The Exorcist when I was 14.
Yeah.
My mother didn't know.
Yeah.
As kids, there's always some things that we're doing that our parents don't know about. But for me, the issue is, I think now more and more parents are going, oh, all right then. They're condoning it.
Yeah.
So for me, if I say to my kids, well, yes, you can watch it. I'm saying that's okay. I'd rather that they watched it secretly, and I can go, that's not right if I find out about it, than me condoning it.
It's really difficult, isn't it?
It is.
Because I'm on with you on that, but at the same time, our children can be watching things without them even knowing that or being aware that they're going to watch it. So, for example, my eldest, like I said, he's 11 this year.
Yeah.
My youngest watches kids' YouTube. He watches the regular YouTube because there's nothing on kids' YouTube left for him. And although he has every parental setting on his device that he watches it on it, you know, to make sure that he can only watch.
So you've taken all the precautions,
Yeah.
And they have quite strong filters, don't they?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, there is no content on there. I type certain keywords in, wondering if they'll come up, and they don't. They're completely blocked. But adverts are not blocked. So he could be in the middle of watching, you know, an innocent video. He could be watching an educational video. He could be watching anything. And in the middle of that will come up an advert, and it's happened before, of a film that's an 18. He was asking me about killer clowns, and I saw that he had seen this advert. You know, these things that I do not want my children to be subjected to are completely out of our control.
Yeah.
Even
What
when
do
you
YouTube say
think
There's definitely an absolution of responsibility, because I think with companies like that, they go, well, the children are in their house doing this, so it's up to the parents. So Netflix will say, you know, you can set a pin for specific maturity ratings, and that ensures your child does not watch content-rated stuff. But actually, kids know their way around this stuff. And just because they're not going to a cinema, you know, I do think that these companies need to do more.
Well, it was harder to sneak into the cinema when I was a kid. Much harder.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't let us in without ID. But also,
We need to wrap it up in a second,
ads
Stacey.
as well, not just the content of what they're watching.
It's
so
true.
I do think it's really...
Just to finish as well, we were talking about 13 Reasons Why. What they've said is that we've heard from many viewers that the programme has opened up a dialogue amongst parents, teens, schools and mental health advocates around the difficult topics depicted on the show. We took extra precautions to alert viewers to the nature of the content and created a global website to help people find local mental health resources.